All right, we are live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, We Love Comics. And I actually have a comic that I want to do an unboxing. I figure I got stuff I bought earlier this year and stuff I've had in boxes for years, so I might as well make sure I have content for you guys to see, because I know people have been asking me to do some comic book unboxings, so I thought I would do that right now. I have a key book, which any of the key books that I get, I highly recommend, if the people can, add them to their collections if you don't already have them. And even if you do, it does pay to have multiple of the same comic, especially ones that have value, because if you ever get into situations like mine and many other people in this world, where you have to either sell a comic to pay a bill, or you just want to trade a comic to get something else, having multiple copies of something allows you to be able to trade or sell something and still own it. So it's something I highly recommend doing. Do your best to try and wait for deals. Do your best to try and make deals happen, and never give up, because times get hard, times get challenging, but if you keep at it and you don't give up, eventually you will be successful. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of time. So never give up on your dreams to own a comic or anything in your life, despite what the world says or what the world does. You know, you have ultimate control. The day you give up is the day you guarantee failure. So when it comes to acquiring comics, don't go in with the mindset of, oh, I'll never get that, or I can't get it, or it's too hard. If you do that, you're a self-fulfilling prophecy. So do your best to make it happen, and just understand that it may take days, may take weeks, may take months, may take years. But if you're dedicated and you hang in there and you go against what everybody else says you cannot do, eventually you will win. And even if you don't, hey, at least you never gave up. So with that being said, I'm going to do an unboxing of a key comic, as always. I will tell you the significance of the book, the price I pay for it, with shipping, handling, taxes, and all that other fun stuff. So I leave it all on the table. And after I do this comic unboxing, I got another package from my mother of, literally, I have no idea what's in here, but I have probably at least 20 boxes that I left at my mother's when I was moving from New York, because I just didn't have the room to move them here, of collectibles. Some are toys, some are other things. I don't know what's in the box, so what I'll do is I'm going to do the comic unboxing first. And for those who want to stick around and see with me what's in this other box, you can. But I don't think it's going to be comic related. But I guess who knows, because I don't know what's in the boxes. I told my mother specifically, if she's going to package stuff, don't let me know what it is, so I can do this unboxing, so I have stuff to let people know about. As you could see on the screen, if you want to say anything about my AI art, I always love to hear your opinions. If you would be so kind as to leave a comment, even if it's not about the AI art, any comments you'd like to make, even if it's questions or anything, by all means, please do. I also want to thank, I don't want to give full names or YouTube names unless somebody gives me permission. So if the person here's their, I'm just going to do either a first name, if it's a person's name, or a partial part of their YouTube channel name. So if they want to have their whole thing put out there, they can put it in a comment section, or they can let me know it's okay. But I have a new Patreon member, so I'm up to 4 Patreon members, which is not bad considering I had one in the past probably 9 years to a decade. So I have a privilege of having 4 people now kind enough to join my Patreon. So I'm just going to do a shout out to Carl. I don't want to say any more of the name or the YouTube channel, but Carl, thank you so much for joining my Patreon. Your contribution will help towards not only the comics, but also helping me feed the cats, which I had a situation this morning that has made it more challenging to be able to feed the cats. I'm just not going to get into it here, but a person I thought was a friend in the neighborhood just stabbed me in the back big time and betrayed me for something I didn't do. But that's as far as I'm going to go with that, because you guys are here for comics, not my life story. And if you are, then I feel bad for you to have to listen to me. So anyway, let's put on the video camera. So luckily, this is another one of those that I told people, you know, I always encourage people, when you buy, especially off eBay or anywhere online, never assume that a person you're buying from either knows how to package comics properly or cares enough to want to do it properly. You know, some people may just not know. I mean, it could be somebody's grandparents that found a comic in the attic and they're just selling it to get rid of it and know nothing about how to package a comic. I always recommend to people, when you buy anything online, especially on eBay, message them and say, this is how I would like the comic to be shipped. Is it possible you can do it? Maybe give a brief explanation why. You know, be kind, be considerate, be understanding, don't be rude. And you'd be amazed at how many people will go the extra mile. Now, they didn't put it in a box like I asked, but it looks like it arrived safe. They put it in one of the thicker Gemini mailers, not one of those thin ones, so it looks like the comic should be perfectly fine. But I always recommend to people, contact the sellers, be kind, and ask them how you'd like it to be sent. If they don't do it, you can't control that, and they weren't going to do it anyway. But you'd be amazed at how many people are actually appreciative of somebody leaving a message, because some people just don't know. We can't assume that because we love comics, everybody else loves them and they're going to appreciate them and treat them the same way we would. So with that being said, let's do the unboxing. This is a Copper Age book. I do have multiple copies of this book. This is what would be considered a Copper Age Grail. It is the first appearance of a character. It is not New Mutants 98, so I can tell you that right off the bat. And see, this is what I'm talking about. See, they were nice enough to put pieces of cardboard, because I did ask if they can do that. So they put thick pieces of cardboard on both sides. That is something they may not have done. Alright, so this looks pretty good. They actually were kind enough to put it also in a top loader with the Mylar. Now, it's funny, they said it was like mid-grade, but this actually looks like it's better than mid-grade. I mean, obviously I'd have to go through the whole book, so there could be problems inside. But this looks pretty good. This looks like it's at least in very fine, very fine, more towards very fine. So I'm very happy with this. I got this a couple of months ago, just haven't opened it. And let's reveal it. So let's give a shout out to the people that are here. GT Key Comic. You're like always the first one to come in. He's one of my moderators. Welcome. Forgive me if I get this wrong, but I'll just say Phil, so I don't pronounce the last part wrong. Welcome. Dan Lewis. Anybody wants to join the live chat, it's always encouraged and appreciated. Excuse me. And I do a surprise subscriber shout out at the end. What I do is I pick at least one, if not two, people in the live chat to do the shout outs. You don't have to be a subscriber if you don't want to be. I'm not going to check and verify. It's my way of saying thank you to somebody that it takes the time to at least participate in the live chat. So let's reveal the comic, and then like I said, afterwards I got another box of stuff that my mother shipped to me. She's had it now going on 5 years, and we'll see what's in there, so you could stick around if you want to see with me. But I can guarantee you they're not going to be comics, but they might be comic related, because some of the toys that I had, some of the action figures were comic book characters, so we'll see. So here is the comic, and we have Amazing Spider-Man number 300. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this because my screen shows frozen, partially anyway, so my wonderful laptop. So I don't know if you could see it, but I'll scroll just in case. It is also a newsstand variant. It's not a Mark Jewelers. I wish it was. I do not own a Mark Jewelers version of this book. I would love to get my hands on one of those, but I've yet to see one. So I don't even know if a Mark Jewelers of this comic exists. Now it looks like my computer's completely frozen. So let me just try. Alright, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Alright, it should be back now, so I apologize. Story of my life. Okay, alright, so You probably didn't see it because it looks like it's been frozen. It's not frozen anymore. Dan, thank you for letting me know that it was frozen, in fact. Showed frozen on my end. My computer's a piece of garbage, but I can't replace it at this point. Too many other things that are way ahead in line. But let's show the comic again, since no one saw it. We got Amazing Spider-Man number 300. First appearance, well, first full appearance of Venom. Iconic cover. This cover has been copied probably hundreds of times at this point from so many other comic book covers. I mean, there's a reason it's iconic. But this is the newsstand variant. All right, everybody's saying it's good now. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's just, like I said, the story of my life. Everything just breaks down and doesn't work properly no matter what I do. You can tell I'm in a great mood today, but like I said, I had some real bad stuff happen this morning. Really stabbed in the back big time. All right, so it's going blank again. I'm just going to try my best. If it doesn't work, I apologize. If anything, at least it gives the haters a reason to thumb down my video. Got to give them a reason. So, this was an actual auction. This wasn't a buy it now one. And it's funny because recently I have been checking a lot of, especially this year, of the buy it now newly listed. And I hardly ever check the auctions anymore. I just happened to, when I did this, check out the auctions. And there was probably about 30 seconds left on this auction when I first discovered it. Placed a bid, and I ended up winning. I have a video that I made years ago. Check on my playlists on how you can win on eBay. And I have a technique that will do one of two things. You'll either win or you'll lose because it went higher than you're willing to pay. So you never have to overspend. Because I'll tell you, books like this are not rare. So even if this is a book you've never had and you always wanted, there are going to be others for sale. So don't use emotion to get something that you want where you'll be willing to overspend for it. And like I said, I have a video. Just go into my playlist, look for the tips on eBay. You could even hit that in the search engine on my channel, and you'll find it. But I ended up with shipping and handling. Well, let me ask you, before I give the price, those that are in the live chat, and I'm sorry again for all the problems with the quality of the video. It's just, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it at this point. But this is, I mean, I'd have to check the back of the book. On the very bottom, there's a little bit of, I don't know if you can see the very tip, a little bit of a color loss right there, but just at the very tip. The edges, this has a minuscule little dog ear, like I'm talking a 1/16 of an inch, so it's dented a little bit there. Corner over here is fine. I don't see any spine ticks along the edge. So let me ask you, for a Amazing Spider-Man 300 newsstand, what would you have paid for this? In my opinion, just looking at the front cover, obviously I'll have to take it out and check the back, because the back has a lot of black, so if there's any color break increases, you know what, let's do it now. Why not? Let's go crazy. And check the back of the book. If anything, to make sure it's complete. Alright, so there are a couple of creases, but not color breaking. There's maybe one or two that have a slight color break, but this book is notorious for having, especially on the back of the book, dozens of color breaks. So this book is probably better than I thought. I would say this is at least an 8.5. I would say between easily 8.5, 9.2. Doesn't need a pressing. Off-white to white pages. And has pressable defects. So, Amazing Spider-Man 300 newsstand, I would think minimum an 8.5 with a pressing, probably 9.2. What would you pay for this? Now, including shipping and handling. Because remember, if you say, well, I'll pay $100 for it, which good luck finding this for $100, you'd have to pay taxes and stuff and shipping costs. So GTK Comics says he'd pay $350. That's low for this book for a newsstand. An 8.5 of this book, the regular edition, you're going to spend that kind of money. Trade paper dad, I just showed it. There is maybe 1 or 2 microscopically thin color break creases on the back. There's probably about 6 or 7 creases that do not break color. So a pressing would get rid of them. So like I said, and it looks a lot nicer than even I thought. There's no creases along the front here. So I think easily minimum this comic would be an 8.5. With a pressing, 9.92. Could it get a 9.4? Not impossible. Because remember, even a 9.8 you can have a little bit of a defect. So Dan said he'd pay $500 book or better. $500 book or better. Life is Good says $400 to $600. I paid, trade paper says I paid $275 for my 8.0 newsstand, but that was 2020. Yeah, so I mean, you're definitely not going to get that price now, but that's a good deal for a newsstand. Well, since enough people said it, and this is a recent purchase that I made only like 2 months ago or something, I paid with shipping and handling $395.59. So the shipping and the taxes added about another $45 to $50 from what I won it for. So in my opinion, to get Amazing Spider-Man 300 newsstand, easily minimum an 8.5, probably in the 9 range for under $400. To me, I think, especially nowadays, is a good opportunity to buy that comic. And like I said, I didn't have to make a deal on this one. That was an auction. Dan Lewis says, I bought one for $400 and pressed it, and it came back a 9.8. Wow. Was it a newsstand? That's pretty good. So with this one, I mean, I didn't get a steal, but I definitely paid below the average. And that to me is important. And that's why I see so many different comic channels talking about, you know, prices of comics and everything. I will never, if a comic is worth $1,000, let's just say a 9.8 of a book is worth $1,000 straight. I would never pay $1,000 for that book. I would pay maximum $750 for that book. And I would do one of two things. Wait until I found that deal, or better, or not buy it at all. Oh, and Dan says they bought it for direct. But even still, a 9.8 direct version of that book for $400, that's a steal. Because I think that's probably about a $1,200 book. And that's why it's like, I encourage people to get newsstand variants. And if you can get Mark Jeweller's variants, I mean, you're talking the rarest of the rare. Because many people will say things like, well, there's a large print run of this. Well, there's not as many print run when it comes to newsstands, especially high grade. So high grade to me when it comes to newsstands is 7.5 or higher. Because you have to remember, a newsstand was not kept in a Mylar bag or a regular comic book bag and board placed, you know, on a shelf in a comic book store. A lot of them were on spinner racks at stores where they folded over, or everybody had access to them and they could put their greasy hands, you know, going into 7-Eleven and getting a big gulp or a Slurpee, and then going through the comics in their newsstand. You know, who knows how much garbage goes on those. So to me, newsstands are more desirable, in my opinion. And I believe anything from I mean, it depends on the price as well. But I think anything from 7.5 and up for a newsstand is desirable. And also, yes, Nick, Canadian variants. I don't believe I own any of those. And some of those can be very valuable. So yeah, so that's why it pays to know about what you're collecting, what you're investing in. Because, I mean, there are just things that most people don't know about. And you could pass up on something that could be an incredible opportunity for you financially. And this day and age, with the economy going, it'll get worse before it gets better. Any deals you can get your hands on where you can exchange currency that is losing value by the second into some kind of tangible asset that people can buy off of you for higher than what you paid for it, that beats any 9-to-5 job you'll ever get if you do it right. Life is Good says, print run matters, but if demand is high enough, always trumps print run. In my humble opinion, definitely there's demand there. Life is Good, you're perfectly right. And that's why I tell people all the time, print run is irrelevant if more people want something than the amount created. How many people that do not own this would love to own a book like this? It's not rare. Now, newsstand is rarer, but how many of you, if given the opportunity, if you had the money or a deal came to you, how many of you would want Amazing Fantasy 15? I guarantee you, unless you hate Spider-Man and you hate making money, most people, I would safely assume, would love to have their hands on an Amazing Spider-Man, Amazing Fantasy 15. That is not a rare book. I'll give you another example. I have a comic that is the first solo comic of Captain America. It's a Golden Age comic. It's not his first appearance, but it's his first solo comic book. I forget what it's called. But that book is more rare than Batman #1 and Superman #1 and Wonder Woman #1. But yet, not as valuable. People don't understand that print runs matter. But if there's a million, let's say there's 10 million copies of something, that is not rare. But if 11 million people want those 10 million copies, that would mean that 10 million people would get them, and a million people would have to do whatever they can and overspend to get one because there are no more left. So they would have to convince somebody who has it to sell it to them. And the only way somebody's going to do that is if they give you an offer you cannot refuse, which means you will have to pay more than what the going rate is. And that's another thing that many people, not just in comic videos, but people all over don't understand, is for true capitalism to work in any society, it has to be based on supply and demand, and the customer is the one that dictates value. It doesn't matter if you look at a book and a book says this particular comic is worth $1,000. If somebody out there wants it so bad that they're willing to spend $2,000 to get that $1,000 book because there are no other available to get, then that is the value to that person. And this is why when I do my auctions, I never worry about having 15, 20 people watching my videos during an auction and maybe have one or two bid. I only need one person out of this whole entire planet filled with billions of people to be interested in what I'm selling to the point that they're willing to give me whatever amount of cash for that book. I don't focus on the whatever amount of billions of people are on this planet who don't want it. You only need one person. It's like finding your soulmate. There's only one soulmate out there for you. So who cares about the rest of the people on the planet that are not your soulmate? Maybe I'm just wired differently. And I think that's why there are some people who appreciate what I try and do as far as sharing my opinion. And that's why, like I said, even though I now have 4 Patreon members, and I am so appreciative of all 4 of you, I don't have anyone join my Patreon where they have to go there to pay and get information there, and they had to pay for that privilege. I give it out freely. And I think, unfortunately, in this world, people get that concept of, you know, it's too good to be true, it usually is. And they've been tricked into always having to pay for advice and information that the world should give freely. I mean, the reason we don't have wireless electricity for all for free is because Nikola Tesla, who didn't invent wireless technology, just rediscovered it. Just look up his information and his history of things he said. It interfered with those who could put meters on your house, register the amount you use, and charge you for it via wire. That stopped that technology from ever seeing the light of day. So if you think paying for information is beneficial, then congratulations, you've been tricked, like we all have, into something that information that you should be able to get freely, and being convinced you have to pay for it to be of quality. I don't believe in that, and till the day I die, which won't be too long from now, I want to make sure I give my information freely. And that means people that don't like me can get that information. That means people who don't care about anything I say can take advantage of that information. Now, does that mean people charging you are bad people? No. If they have to earn a living and people are willing to do it, if somebody sells a doll that throws up, if there's somebody out there that likes it and was willing to spend money on that doll, more power to them, let them meet. Magnets attract. I'm just talking about my points of view. So, shipping. Supply only matters if there is too much demand or not enough demand. The consumer dictates value. Unfortunately, we've been tricked for hundreds of years, and it's still going on today, that companies, governments, corporations, etc., are the ones that dictate value. Something is only valuable if it holds value to you. That is why there are people in this world that will collect things like bottle caps or old buttons and pay through the nose for them, because to them they have value. If you saw a World War II pin at a garage sale and you didn't know it was a World War II pin, you just thought it was some old pin, you'd probably pass up on it not knowing it. But a person that knows about World War II pins and knows that specific one is rare and knows it might be worth $5,000 and can pick it up at a yard sale for 20 cents, I don't blame anybody for not knowing. I don't blame the person for taking advantage of a situation when people have the opportunity to research what they sell. Research what you do. Listen to information from people, but don't follow people blindly, because even ones that may have their greatest heart in the right place can make mistakes. And if you put all your eggs in one basket and say, I'm going to follow this one person or this one group or this one idea, no matter what happens, you're going to get burned. And on the other end, sometimes you can learn more from your enemy than you can your best friend, because sometimes you can learn from your enemies what not to do. So you can learn all over the place. It depends on what you're willing to do, what you're willing to achieve. And that's why I appreciate people's opinions. I appreciate those who may not see the value in something that I do, but they do not dictate my ultimate decision. I do not let them influence me in a way that is contraindicating what I believe in my heart. And I share that with you freely. And if anybody wanted to join my Patreon to help support my channel, they're doing it because they just want to support my channel and help me continue to do my work and actually feed some cats, which, by the way, I did a video a couple of days ago to show what I do twice a day, every day, rain or shine, sickness and health. I will devote my life to it while I'm still on this planet. And I am appreciative of all four of you. And I'm appreciative of those who can't do it. Maybe they can't afford it because they can't, spend an extra dime in this economy. I appreciate those that are watching. Somebody that's kind enough to hit the like button. Somebody that left a comment in the chat. Somebody that came to my video and thumbed it down. Because that means that I am relevant enough to them that they are willing to go to my channel just to spread hatred, which doesn't affect me. I'm appreciative of everybody. Well, Punisher, the good thing is you can always hit it on the rewind, but my job is to help people here. So that's the book, and I'm going to do another unboxing. So Amazing Spider-Man, number 300, newsstand variant, easily an 8.5, probably higher. I paid $395.59 with shipping and handling. So at this point, I'm not going to do any more comics. This is another box of stuff, and this one's heavy, so this has probably got a lot of stuff in it. When I moved from New York to Florida, there was a lot of stuff I had to leave behind, and my mother was gracious enough to hold on to things in her attic. A lot of collectibles that I had that I just did not have room to bring here, so she's starting to mail them back. I don't know what's in here, but I'll share it with you that are interested. Those of you that don't want to stick around, I thank you for participating, and I hope you have a great day no matter what. And let's go over what we got in here, because it looks like I got a couple of things. All right, there's a variety of stuff. Now, I've never collected Pezzes before, but I have some Pezzes in here, and I wonder if they're valuable. Unopened. This is a Chewbacca Pez dispenser, and this is what I'm talking about. There are things that have value in them that most people wouldn't think about. There are Pez dispensers that are worth millions. Now, I doubt this is one of those. It doesn't say the year. It still has the candy in it, but I can see that this has Chewbacca's head in it. So there's a lot of stuff we're going to go in here. So I have a couple of Pez dispensers. So if anybody knows anything about these and they want to let me know if they have any value or desirability, I mean, I didn't even remember when I bought these. This has to be in the 90s, early 2000s. Here's another Pez dispenser of Darth Vader. So these would have to be from 2005 and older. Because when I moved into my house in New York, it was 96. So somewhere, and I didn't probably start collecting stuff probably until 97, 98. So let's say this is somewhere between 1997 and probably 2005. And here's another one of Yoda. So there's a lot of stuff in here. Russell, you did miss the unboxing for the comic. So the comic is over at this point. So if you want to hit rewind, that's great. All right, this isn't really a collectible. I don't know why she threw this in. But Avatar Blu-ray. Okay. I used to love playing this game. The original PlayStation's Skull Monkeys. No game in the case. So that one's not worth anything. All right, this one has the game in it. So the original PlayStation. This one's called Spider. Dance for me, Spider. Anybody knows what reference that is? Put it in the comments section. The Dance for Me, Spider. What movie reference is that from? All right, so there's a lot of stuff. All right, we have a Star Wars action figure. I wish it was the original, but this is Luke Skywalker in Hoth gear. This is Star Wars Power of the Force. Probably not worth too much, because those were probably totally collected. Here's another original PlayStation game, Reloaded. Has the game in it. All right, another Pez dispenser. Again, unopened. C-3PO. So who knows if any of these things, if one thing in here has value. Here's another Star Wars Power of the Force, Luke Skywalker. So if anybody wants to talk about this. All right, this is something, I don't know if they have value, but I got these. If anybody wants to check the year of these, there's probably, I think, like 3 of them. This is Pokemon Burger King Catch 'em All. So it's got the ball, the Pokemon ball, and it might have a trading card in it. I feel like there is, but this has never been opened. So I wonder if these have any value. If anybody knows the year, because it says 57 collectible toys at Burger King. So I don't know which one it is, but I could definitely see there's some kind of card. I wonder if any of these have value. Let me see if it has a number. It has, this one has 78-18. So if anybody is kind enough to look that up, let me know. So there's another one. 72-15. Again, it's the Pokemon ball. late 90s, early 2000s. If somebody wants to look that up, they can even put it here in the live chat. And here's one more. 80-16. So again, these have never been opened. It feels like there's a card in it. That'd be amazing if one of these was like $1,000 item. I could definitely use it. All right. We have Star Wars Power of the Force with a freeze frame action slide of Bespin Luke Skywalker. So this one is not just the action figure. It also has an actual freeze frame from the movie. I'm going to run out of room here. Alright, Power of the Force. As you could tell, Luke Skywalker was my hero at one point. Now I have lost all respect for Mark Hamill, since he's decided to go full woke. Alright, this is Star Wars Endor Rebel Soldier. Different labeled one. So if anybody knows anything about anything I'm showing, still in the original card. We have a tin here, an unopened tin, embossed metal collectible case, Star Wars Shadow of the Empire. So this is a metal tin. You see, still has the original price and the original receipt, still got the cellophane wrap around it. 6 embossed metal collectible cards. Can't see if there's a year on this, but it's Shadow of the Empire. I've had to have had this for at least 10 to 15 years. Yeah, it's still a lot more stuff, so thank you for anybody looking. Okay. I have not seen this in a while. This is the Trilogy Collection. I wish it was the original Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader, but this is the Trilogy Collectibles Darth Vader. It isn't from the original Empire Strikes Back. But this one, it looks like it's been bent a little bit. Probably my mother not knowing how to package stuff. I'm not going to complain. Next up, we have the Phantom Menace Qui-Gon Jinn. Past return says, hey all, on my way home. Thought I'd stop in and say hi. Hello. Life is Good says, Pokemon toys seem to be $12 to $15. What are you going to do? I got them with a Burger King meal at the point, so hey, $15 is more than I had if I sell them. But here's another Star Wars Power of the Force Luke Skywalker. So it's nice to see some of this stuff. This is something I was actually trying to look at the other day. I actually appreciate the fact that this is here. This is the 500th figure. This is Star Wars Special Edition figures, where you can move Darth Vader's head up, the helmet, up and down in his little chamber. So this is the 500th figure. It says, celebrate a very special moment in history of the Star Wars 3 3/4 action figures with the introduction of the 500th figure in this legendary collection. No character is more fitting to mark this significant event than the ultimate villain of all time, Darth Vader. Designed with incredible detail and superior articulation, Vader comes with his famous meditation chamber where his menacing helmet is lowered onto him. Own a piece of history as a cornerstone to your Star Wars collection. Star Wars, live the legend, celebrate the saga. This is back when Star Wars was relevant. I no longer have my eyesight. It looks like it says 2005. Unfortunately, the eyes are one of the first things to go. So if anybody knows about it, it's got a lever here. And it makes the helmet go up and down. So again, still in the original package. If anybody knows anything about this, let me know. I'm going to find a place to put this up here. A couple of pocket knives. Boy, I really liked Luke Skywalker. This is Luke Skywalker in ceremonial outfit. Very shiny card there. Power of the Force. Then this one is Massif or Massif. That was on that alien planet. Two more things. These I've never taken out. Oh, there's a receipt in there. Or is it? No, it's a napkin. But these are New York Yankees Legend Monument Park Collection. I got these at Yankee Stadium. This one is Lou Gehrig. There's a little dent in the box. And the other is Phil Rizzuto. So these are statues. I wonder what year these are. Because this was in the old 2004. So these were... Let me see if it has the same date. It should be. I think I got these the same day. Yeah, 2004. So that was probably one of the last times I went to Yankee Stadium. So it was the old Yankee Stadium. Where, let me see. Because I've actually never taken them out of the box. Oh, okay. And here it is. My original ticket from the day I went. So I was actually smart enough to leave the ticket in there. So this was... I was in the bleachers. Bleacher number 43. This was Yankee Stadium, New York Yankees versus Oakland A's, Tuesday, August 3rd, 2004, 7:05 p.m. What was the price of the ticket? Get this. And this is at Yankee Stadium. The ticket for a bleacher seat in 2004 with the fees was $11.50. So it was an $8 ticket with $3.50 surcharge. So that's cool that I saved that. Yeah, no Mantle or Maris because they just handed you one at the when you walked in, and I was with I either went with a friend or a date, and whoever it was didn't want theirs, so you got whatever they handed you. So this is taped, so I don't want to ruin it. So this is what it looks like. There's the Phil Rizzuto one. And I'll show it. It's taped. This has never been opened. I've never actually taken this out. But you can see it's a statue. So I'm not going to take the other one out. But this is the Lou Gehrig one. That's what the statue looks like. So yeah, that's pretty darn cool. I'm going to put that ticket back in there. I mean, I've had these for so long, I didn't even remember that I put the ticket in there. I used to save all the tickets. So that's everything. So I think, who knows, probably the most valuable thing would probably be these Pez dispensers. But hey, you never know. These might have value to them. I guess, again, it always depends on the people. Something could have no value to hundreds of people, and then one person comes along and says, wow, that is priceless to me. What do you want for it? So, there you go. Nice to go down memory lane. I got so many things that my mother will send me eventually. And that was nice to be able to explore that with you. So if there's anything in there you thought might have some kind of value or any information you can give me on some of those things, by all means, please let me know. So that was fun to go down that memory lane. Thank you for sharing that with me. And leave some comments after the beep. So let's do today's surprise subscriber shout-outs. We're going to go with... Give me a second. And of course, now it's frozen. Alright, so we're going to go with what I could see on the screen, so I apologize. It's not letting me scroll. We're going to go with Nick M. And the Past Returns, which is, I guess, appropriate, considering I was just opening a box of past items. So you two are today's surprise subscriber shout-outs. The computer seems to have frozen again, so I don't even know if you're hearing this anymore. But if you want to hit a thumbs up, that's great. If not, I totally understand. With the computer going in and out, I would be frustrated as well. If there's anything you want to talk about as far as any of these items, by all means, I would love to hear it in the comments. And that's it. So thanks for watching. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. Hopefully you'll check out some of my other videos. If you ever want to join my Patreon, for example, it's in the description. I also sell comic book mystery boxes. The link to that website is also in the description. And we'll see you next video. So thanks for watching and taking a few moments of your time to spend it with me. Love to hear your opinions. Have a great night. And don't forget